Good morning and welcome to an incredibly windy Sunday morning ride in Essex. But today we're talking about getting fit through your 40s with cycling, but actually something more important than that is your general health. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how cycling can make a massive improvement for both. So if you're not a regular subscriber of mine and you've never watched one of my videos before and you just clicked on the thumbnail and title because you found it interesting, well then I'm going to assume a couple of things about you. One, you're in your 40s or possibly over. Two, you've just taken up cycling or thinking of taking up cycling. And three, you've reached a point in your life where you're starting to take seriously your long-term health and general fitness. So if those assumptions are correct, and even if they're not, to be honest, then I'm here to tell you that cycling can be an incredible way to get and stay fit in your 40s and beyond. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I post exclusively cycling content, from vlogs to cycling tips and general maintenance made easy. So if that's the sort of thing that you're going to find handy on your new cycling journey, then I'd love it if you could give me a subscribe. Oh, and don't forget to hit the like button while you're down there. However, if you're one of my die-hard subscribers already, then welcome back, and as ever, thank you for your continued support. So here are my 6 tips for getting fit in your 40s through cycling. Oh, and I hate to be that guy that tries to get you to stay to the end of the video, but the last one is definitely the most important. So tip number 1, take it easy. Now, I know that might sound odd, because if you've just got your first proper bike, then probably all you want to do is get out on it as much as possible. But by pushing it too hard too soon, you can give yourself an injury, which will stop you riding for a bit, or worse, put you off cycling completely. So by starting off slow and building up gradually, you're much more likely to stick with cycling and get more from it. So when you're first starting out, I highly recommend going for some more time-based routes over mileage. Instead of saying, I'm gonna go out and do X amount of miles today, instead say, I'm gonna go out for an hour, 2 hours, or even half an hour. Doing that will help your legs, and more importantly, your backside, get accustomed to being in the saddle for protracted periods of time. And once you've got that down, then you can start looking at more distance-based routes and seeing how fast you can push yourself. Spending more time on the bike going at a slower speed will help you improve much quicker than flying around at breakneck speeds around your local area, trying to push yourself as fast as possible and as far as possible to see how far you can go. Now don't get me wrong, there's a time and place for pushing it on the bike, but starting out is not that time. Tip number 2, condition yourself. So if you're brand new to cycling, or it's been quite a few years since you cycled last, then it will take a little while for your body, and primarily your legs, to get used to the constant spinning for extended periods of time. And even if you're bringing a certain level of fitness over from another sporting activity, like running for instance, then it will still take a bit of time to get used to the bike, because it is a completely different beast. Case in point, just before Christmas, I took part in my first ever 5K park run. Now, I am not a runner, I am not built to run, but my 11-year-old son wanted to do it, so I said I'd join him. Now I completed the route and it felt okay, but a couple of hours later at home, and my legs were in absolute pieces, and I could barely walk up and down the stairs. That didn't bode well for the ride that I had booked with the lads early the next morning. So when I came down the stairs limping the following morning at 6 AM, I was a little bit worried that I wasn't going to be able to get on the bike at all, or even if I could, I wasn't going to be very fast. However, as soon as I threw my leg over the bike, no problems whatsoever, not a single ache or pain. Cycling uses an entirely different set of muscle groups to pretty much any other sport. Given that most of your power then, when you're cycling, is coming from your hips, some good stretching exercises of your legs before you go out is a top tip, especially opening up those hip flexors. So some lunges, some Bulgarian splits perhaps, just really warming up those quads, hamstrings, calves, and as I say, most importantly, your hips. Tip number 3, rest and recovery. Now this also links in with the first tip, but whereas that was taking it easy on the bike, this is taking it easy off the bike. So it's an unfortunate fact of life that as we get older, it takes longer for our bodies to recover from any sort of injury or even any extended period of exertion. So making sure that you recuperate properly when you get off the bike is paramount. So my Garmin bike computer has a pretty handy feature where at the end of every ride, it will tell me how long I should recover for. However, if you don't have a bike computer, then just listen to your body. If you get off the bike and the following day you've still got a few aches and pains, well then just give it an extra day or so before jumping back on. Making sure that you're fully recovered before your next ride will again ensure that you have no long-term injuries, no little niggles to stop you enjoying your ride, and most importantly, will keep you riding for longer. Tip number 4, find a friend to ride with. Now this one isn't imperative because it largely depends on your personality. If you're the type of person that enjoys your own company as opposed to the company of others, then have at it. Get out there by yourself and enjoy the freedom that cycling provides. However, even if that is the case, don't underestimate the motivation that riding in a group or just with a single friend can bring. Not only does it provide some positive peer pressure that will motivate you to get out on the bike when you might otherwise have not bothered, but it will also help you learn things from others, like a little bit of bike maintenance maybe, or how to fix things on the fly. So when you do end up going out by yourself and you get a mechanical, you're not stuck high and dry. And if you don't have any friends that are into cycling, well, not to worry, you can head over to the British Cycling website and they have a full list of groups and clubs in your area that you can go along and join. And you never know, you might make some new friends. Tip number 5, set yourself a goal. So I've spoken about this extensively in previous videos, and if you've watched pretty much any of my videos from last year, you'll know that I set myself a goal of riding 2,023 miles in 2023, and that was clearly a well thought out goal because I only just about made it on New Year's Eve last year, and that was only really thanks to a mammoth 100-mile ride I did from Essex to Richmond Park and back on Christmas Eve. Now, if I hadn't have set myself that goal, then there are definitely times that I would have just woken up on a Sunday morning and thought, nah, sod this. It's too cold, it's too dark, it's too wet, it's too whatever. However, having that goal really motivated me to get out. And so after every ride, not only did I feel happy because of serotonin and endorphins, which are your body's natural happy chemicals, which are released after every period of physical exertion, but I was also happy that I'd got my weekly miles in too. Double bonus. And so finally, the all-important tip number 6, just enjoy yourself. Honestly, if you don't listen to anything else in this video, listen to this, and that is have fun on the bike. Forget the numbers, forget the miles, forget how many pounds or kilos you've lost or how many inches you've lost around your waist. Have fun on the bike. Cycling is supposed to be fun, and there's a danger that if you get too caught up in the process that you just stop enjoying it, and that ultimately will stop you going out as much and getting into the habit of cycling. So be a kid on a bike again, find a hill to climb, yippee all the way down the other side of it, fly along at 25-30 miles an hour and just fall in love with cycling. And that is ultimately how you get fit in your 40s on a bike, onward into your 50s, 60s and even your 70s and 80s. So what do you think? What are your ideas for this year to get fit now you've turned 40? Leave me a comment below, and as ever, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.